Hi, everybody. I'm here with England rugby fan and talent acquisition leader, James Gardner. And we're going to be talking about something very specific. So at the end of the interview that I did with James last week, he said, so my question is, why is talent acquisition and talent not treated like that with high gravitas was the context on that? Because it's so important. Does AI provide us the key to achieve that? James, tell us more about this as a subject.
Yes, thank you, Adam. So I think, well, number one, England shirt for the Six Nations coming up this weekend. First match on Thursday evening for your avid rugby watchers out there. But I think, yes, as I was saying, in the first discussion, we talked, I think, very broadly. I think what we need to now do is probably nail down a few specifics. And I think one of those most important specifics is, does AI finally give talent a seat at the growth table? Do we become more strategic? And can we be treated as a true driver of growth and influence rather than just a process? And I think the short answer is yes, we can, but it only matters if leaders change, talent leaders change how we engage with that senior leadership and change the understanding of what talent acquisition is. So AI creates the opportunity, but it doesn't automatically provide influence. And I think to understand that, we need to probably look back a little bit at why talent has traditionally been treated as a process. And to understand that opportunity, as I said, let's go back to the beginning. And so for a long time, talent acquisition has been just positioned as a, let's call it a reactive service. It's a service for a process, nothing more. Roles are approved, requisitions are opened, and our recruiters are asked to fill them. So in essence, we are just a process, simple as that. Success is measured based on throughput. It's based on time to hire, cost per hire, SLA compliance. And these metrics, whilst they're useful, they frame a cost center, a delivery function, not a growth leader. And when talent is only kind of visible as demand exists and talent acquisition only comes in as demand exists, then it's hard for leadership really to see it as a strategic influencer. So I think what AI actually changes is the shape of the function. It removes that operational friction, manual sourcing, screening, scheduling, reporting. But more importantly, I think it changes where talent adds value. I mean, does that make sense as an initial synopsis?
Oh, no, of course it absolutely does. My question alongside that is, do you think that talent acquisition teams, and I don't think AI necessarily makes any impact on this, or maybe it does, maybe it helps to be able to do it. But I think that talent acquisition teams need to be able to much more clearly demonstrate their contribution to top line growth and or bottom line growth and or product development or speed of execution, that type of thing. Would you agree?
Totally. We have been historically caught in metrics that are looking backwards. What we need to be is predictable and forecast. And with what AI can do is it can unlock that, because with the right data, the right systems, talent teams can actually start answering the questions that leadership actually cares about, which is, do we have the capability to deliver the growth plan? Will scarcity of any particular skill set let us down? What else? What roles maybe give us the greatest leverage? And on the other side of it, what's the risk of not hiring or hiring late? So what you're then talking about, these aren't recruitment questions. They're growth questions. And that makes it possible to actually connect hiring velocity, capability depth, workforce planning, deployment, time to productivity. And I mean, we talked about kind of understanding productivity. One of the biggest assumptions that we look at, I think, is, especially if we look at tech organizations, obviously there's huge amounts of kind of engineering hiring still occurring. Understanding how we impact that productivity level in driving a product to market then produces a real understanding for, okay, what is our true impact? Because without that, again, we return to being an order taker and nothing more, really. Simple as that. And so it's that ideal about, let's stop being a process and let's start providing strategic input. But this is where I think the big question comes, which takes us back to our initial conversation last week around, I mean, for want of a better phrase, is AI the silver bullet? And it's not. It's just not, because yes, it's incredibly important in how we position ourselves, but that doesn't elevate talent. What that does is actually improve process, but it doesn't provide what it's not doing. It's by itself, it will measure cost and speed, obviously. It will enable us to have what I call baseline metrics, because what it does do is provide efficiency, but not more influence. So influence requires the human, which is the interpretation and the judgment. And that is where we elevate ourselves, because, I mean, for years, we provided dashboards to the leadership. Countless times I've sat in leadership meetings, giving updates on a monthly basis and gone through cost per hour, time to hire, etc. But actually what they want is insight. They want options. They want trade-offs. AI provides the data. Talent leaders have to provide the narrative of how that impacts our commercial organization.
Yes.
And
James, great
insights.
Great insights. Bite-sized updates. We're going to reconvene again next week, because there's another AI and talent acquisition topic that we're going to be covering. Thank you for your time. Good luck to England in the Six Nations. They're playing France, I think, on Thursday. Is that right?
No, we've got Wales on Saturday.
Oh, Wales on Saturday, of course. Ireland, France.
And Thursday, I would a little bit confused by why it's on a Thursday.
There's something else happening. Is it because of there's something else happening all weekend in France? I can't remember another sporting event that's.
Oh no, it's not. Well, the start of the Winter Olympics, but
that's what it is. The Winter Olympics.
That's in Cortina.
Yeah, it's taken over a lot of programming. I don't know, but just for a bit of balance. Of course, I'll be supporting Scotland, but I absolutely like you. I also love the France. Vive la France! Vive la Révolution! Vive la Révolution in talent acquisition.
Well, we're coming to that point, aren't we? And I think, how do I put this? It presents hurdles, but it presents huge opportunity.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Great to see you. See you next week.
You too. Thank you, Adam.